Okay, so we're going to want to have sketch 4 to come back, and we're going to focus in on right again. So we're looking down on top of our sketch that we just made. We're going to sketch on top of that sketch again. We're going to use the offset tool, and we're going to offset this, make sure it's going out. I'm going to offset this by 10. Tick. We want to extrude sketch 5. So that's that part we just drew. So I clicked on this side here because sometimes if you draw a sketch on top of a sketch, it doesn't know which one you want to extrude. To save time, I just clicked on the sketch 5 on the side there. And this is going to come up 2 mil. Now we're going to hide away sketch 4, or whichever sketch yours is called now, the one that was open. We're going to sketch on top of this. So we're going to make a circle on the edge here on the left hand side, and this is going to be 72 mil in diameter. We're going to use our dimension tool here. We're going to go from the center up to the straight edge like this, and we want that to be 75. We want to go to the center to this straight edge here. We want that to be 65. So we need to have a second hole over this side. It's going to be 6.5 mil in diameter. When you use our dimension tools, we're going to go from the center to that edge there. That wants to be 75 mil. I'm going to go to the center to that edge there, drag down, and that wants to be 20 mil. So when we do this extrude, we want to include both circles in it. And that cuts through like that. So we can come over here to part 6, right click, go to properties. We're going to call it door face. And it's going to be 200 by 150 by 2 mil check plate. And this is part number 6. So now we're going to sketch on top of that door we just made, and we're going to use the corner rectangle, and we're just going to come down here like this. And we're going to have this side be 10, and this side here be 80. And we're going to extrude that out now, and we want it to come out 3 mil. And this is a new surface. Make sure it's a new one, otherwise it'll join to this door face. So now we have that little bar there, and that's just going to be like a grill that goes over this air intake here, so that we can have airflow in there but not have random bits of timber flying out the front door. So we only need to draw one of these because when we go to assemble it, we'll be able to make all the grills out of this one piece. So we'll right click on part 7, go to properties, call it a grill, and that is 80 times 10 times 3 flat, and that's part number 7. So we're going to hide that away and hide that away. We're going to sketch on top of the door face. We're going to use the offset tool, and we're going to come around the edge and pick the edge of this door. And we're going to have to select every piece. So that is all the way around the door. Press enter, and then we want this to be 3 mil away from the edge. Tick. Now we're going to extrude that one there. Make sure it's on new. And we want to extrude this 12 mil. And we're going to right click on this, go to properties. We're going to call it door edge. And that's going to be 620 by 12 by 3 mil flat. And that's part number 8. Okay, so we can hide that away now. And hide any sketches you got on there. So we just have a clean thing. We'll get rid of that plane as well. So we just have back to our original thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on front, and we're going to make a sketch on it. Now we're going to make just a nut. They have 6 sides. And our dimension is going to be 8. And we're going to put a circle in the center. And this one's going to be 6. And we're going to extrude just the outside like that. And this is going to be 5 mil tall. And this is just a little nut. This is a M6 nut. We need to use M6 nuts quite a few times in our project. And this is a good way of counting up how many we're going to need for our project. So if we just put it in here, that way when we go to assembly, we can just put it into the right spot, and we're able to count up how many nuts that we're actually going to need for our project. And we're going to hide that away. And we're going to focus in on front again. Sketch, front. Now we're going to draw a line. Comes up like this and goes out like this. So these two lines are perpendicular to each other. And we're going to fillet this from here to here. And we want this fillet to be 20 mil. Now we're going to make our bits really small. So we're going to just come in here. This needs to be 40 mil long. And this part here needs to be 25 mil long. So what we want to do now is come up here to this plane tool again. We want to have a point normal plane. And we're going to click on that edge and the very end of it. And it's going to put a drawing plane right on the end of our thing here. So we're going to come here, we're going to sketch on that plane we just made. We're going to use the circle tool. We're going to come down right to the end of our thing and drag out like that. And this circle is going to be 6 mil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the sweep tool. The faces to sweep is that circle we just drew. And the sweep path is that and that. Make sure you bring back sketch 10. So what we're going to do is zoom in down here onto this end. This is the short end. We're going to use the plane tool. We're going to click on this and we're going to offset it by 5 mil. And now we're going to sketch on plane 3. Center point square. See how it anchors to this line that we drew before? So we just need to get it there. We're going to draw it out like this. And we're going to have this as... We're going to have a 4x4 square here. And now we're going to use this tool here. It's called Loft. So our profiles we're lofting between is that circle and that square. And it's just going to change it from the circle to the square like that. And we want it to add to this thing here, but it's showing up an error. Why can't I add that? So we want to add this, and on my one it's saying there's no merge scope. So we just need to click on what we want it to merge with down here if you get that red error there. So that's joined onto the end of this. Now what we can do is sketch on the bottom side of this, and we're going to put a little square just here. And we're gonna make it 1 by 1. And now we're going to use the loft tool again. We're going to go from that square to that little square there. So now we have this little square taper going down there. If we didn't have this little bit here, it would be round all the way down instead of being square. And this is how we're going to put our handle onto our door. So you need to have a square taper for a handle to fit on nicely. That's the little metal part for our door handle. So we're going to come down here, right click, go to properties. And we're going to call it door handle. And this is 80 times 6 round. And we're up to part number 10.